Good evening, everyone. Welcome to CAPA's membership panel, the work behind creating a positive member experience. My name is Roy Gazzato, and I've been a physician assistant for almost 27 years, CAPA member for as long. I will be tonight's moderator, and in tonight's panel, we're going to have a discussion of an opportunity for the PAs out there to hear firsthand what CAPA has going on and what we have planned. And we're going to talk to those that are actually doing the work behind the scenes. To get started, I would like each of you to introduce yourselves briefly and tell us just a little bit of your role with CAPA. So Jeremy, do you mind just talking about yourself real quick, just a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Roy. My name is Jeremy Meese. I'm a PA, and I've practiced in primary care at a federally qualified health center and community clinic in Sacramento, California. I've been practicing for 9 years and love what I do.
Thank you, Jeremy. Next, I'm going to have Saloni Schwartz talk a little bit about herself and what committee she's on. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Saloni Schwartz, and I'm your CAPA president. I have been active with CAPA ever since I was a PA student. So that was back in 2011, 12, and 13. I have served in many roles under CAPA's leadership and have had wonderful experiences learning how to be a good PA and how to be a great PA leader. And that's what I bring to you guys today. I currently work in neurosurgery, and I practice at Mission Hills, Holy Cross Hospital. And yeah, that's it about me. Thank you.
Thank you, Saloni. I can see that you just got out of a case. I really appreciate you being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Next up is a fresh new face, Iris. She's our CAPA student representative. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about that, Iris?
So yeah, my name is Iris Orion. I'm a PA student at University of the Pacific in Sacramento. I recently was elected to the CAPA student representative position, and I will be heading up the Student Affairs Subcommittee, and just here to be kind of a bridge between the PA students of California and CAPA.
Thank you, Iris. Well, I know we're going to get more into your committee a little bit later, but thank you for being here tonight. The next person I want to have introduce himself is Katherine. Katherine, could you tell us a little bit about your committee and who you are?
Hi, my name is Katherine Dahm. I am the chair of the Early Career PA Committee. I'll be working closely with Iris as well as the Student Affairs Committee, Professional Practices Committee, and the PA Schools Committee, looking to onboard newer PAs, graduating PAs, and then also transitioning PAs as well.
Thank you, Katherine. Appreciate that. CAPA is pretty well known for its continuing medical education conferences. And I'd like to introduce now Scott Martin, who is the CME committee chair. So Scott, give us a little bit about yourself and about what you're doing.
Hey there, everyone. Yeah, my name's Scott Martin. I am the CME committee chair for CAPA. I've been for, I'm going on my 3rd year here. And I've been actually volunteering with CAPA. I think this is about my 6th year. And so, but anyways, I work in the emergency department with all the craziness. I love it. I did the PA fellowship out of school and I haven't turned back. I'm still in it. So happy to be here.
Thank you for being with us, Scott. I really appreciate that. There's another committee that a member that I like to introduce. It's Bill. Bill, could you tell us a little bit about your PA education school committee and what you do in that?
Yes, thank you, Roy. Thank you all for allowing me to be here. It's an honor to speak to you. As mentioned, my name is Bill Edmonds, and I am working with the PA Education Committee. I've been working with them for just over a year, and I'm now going to be the committee chairman. I do outreach to the PA schools that are within the state of California. One of the things that I try to help bridge is helping students get into some of their clinical practice areas. And one of the areas that we look at a lot is the transition to early career, which Katherine and I will be working very closely, and then also with Iris as students are transitioning to the early career. Another thing that we do is we help with the kind of making sure that the PANTS coordination is going well, the PANTS studies. And then another big component for us in this committee are the scholarships that come out of CAPA.
Thank you, Bill. We'll come back to your committee as well to get a little more detail about what's going on there. First, I want to thank you all for being here tonight and helping us out. And this is not just a one-on-one thing. If you ever have anything that you want to say as part of a question, even if it's someone else, please feel free to say your piece. Now, I'm going to pick on our president a little bit, Saloni. You know, of everyone present, you've been here for a long time. Why did you select CAPA? And what motivates you to serve all the CAPA members?
You know, Roy, I cannot find a perfect situation, more perfect situation than this to answer this question by the fact that you are asking me this question. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason that I am so actively a part of CAPA is Roy Guizzato. I remember walking into his office as a first-year PA student and informing him that, you know, I'm a good student. I think I'll be able to do okay in PA school, but I really, really want to get involved. I want to get elbows up in grace. And I asked Roy, I said, what is it that I could do that could kind of push me in that direction? And he introduced me to CAPA. At that time, CAPA had a student ambassador program. And that is how I started off with CAPA. I was lucky enough that leaders and the then executive director, Gay, actually saw some potential in me and decided to bring me on as student representative. So Iris, I was doing what you did. That's how I got my start in CAPA. And with CAPA, I have really learned how to understand what my profession is, and not just the logistics of it, but what a PA is and what a PA does. We are so integral to the healthcare system right now. And we are, I mean, making strides by the minute. And just the fact that I got an understanding of that early in my profession, I consider myself one of the lucky ones. So thank you, Roy, for introducing me to CAPA.
Oh, you're more than welcome. I'm glad that you're here with us and that you've been here for such a long time, and I can see that the motivation for you to do what you want to do. What is it that you see in CAPA that makes you want to continue this process? I mean, there's one story is getting into it and starting it, but you've shown longevity, you showed loyalty and things like that. What is it that's kept you with us?
Well, you know, I think that question can be answered in 3 phases. The first phase was just learning about the rich history about how PAs and CAPA made PA-ship possible. Something as mundane as something as writing a prescription. I work in neurosurgery today. I write opioid analgesia prescriptions every day. And just to learn that CAPA and the PA profession worked together to make that possible is what actually pulled me into it. Through my time with CAPA, I have seen us go through so many different transitions. We started off working hard towards OTP, or optimal team practice. And that was something that we worked very hard towards. Of course, it didn't work out the way we wanted to, and we ended up with SB 697, which was still such a great platform. And then I also had the opportunity to get involved with the House of Delegates for our national chapter, the American Academy of PAs. And we recently just voted that we would like to change our title from PA Physician Assistant to PA Physician Associate. So I am just on the horizon of so many exciting changes that it's tough to let go. I want to be a part of this, and I want to continue to be a part of this for as long as I can.
Very good. When we were talking earlier, we were talking with our executive director, Teresa Chen, and she let us know that CAPA office itself routinely fields phone calls and questions and things like this. And she stated that one of the top reasons that people call CAPA is to talk about our CME, either to get registered, where's it going to be, what's going to go on next. And so, Scott, I'd like to see if could you talk a little bit about that process, about the CME process. What is CAPA offering now? Where we're going to go with CME in the future?
Absolutely. So, jumping into the CME, I mean, of course, the elephant in the room is, everybody's still dealing with is COVID. And for years, we had talked about possibly going virtual and, maybe that'll come down the line. And then COVID hit and it kind of forced our hand in it. So we had to reinvent ourselves more or less. And so, like I said, and that's one of the good things that came out of COVID for PAs is now I can have, we have access to speakers that, not only are in California, but are national speakers as well that we're having on these conferences. Even most recently, we had somebody lecturing out of Minneapolis, which was fantastic. So it's just, it's a great way to get more speakers, get a more diverse topics as well. And we're continuing to reinvent ourselves and be innovative with the virtual CME that we're coming up with. Now, looking forward to the future, I mean, I've been kind of pushing on trying to expand our CME, not to just family practice, but I've also been trying to expand it to other profession or other specialties within the profession. I've heard from my colleagues, we work in emergency medicine, and, I've heard that, hey, it's mostly family practice. That's great. I love CAPA, but it doesn't have anything for me. So I've been trying to broaden our scope a bit and getting some tracks, as you've seen in these conferences we've had in the past, and also moving forward, trying to get ER tracks, urgent care tracks, orthopedic tracks, surgery tracks. We're gonna, in the future, we'll see about some critical care tracks, and pediatric, geriatric. We have a current conference going on right now for the virtual CME summer conference that you can sign up for that has all of the geriatric and pediatric topics, which is just fantastic. It's great seeing the young and the old, everybody sees them eventually. So yeah, we have that going on. Also, things that we're looking forward to here is CAPACon in October during PA Week. This is going to be a virtual conference once again, but we're changing up the format a little bit. It's going to be basically about 3 live days with a couple lectures, but most of it's going to be streaming, as I know everybody's busy. I mean, look, Saloni made it to us today with just coming out of surgery, and I understand that, and that's tough. So we need to have CME available that they can do on their time, and I know everybody has a crazy schedule and they can't make them all, but if you miss it, you go back and you rewatch it later and you still get your CME for it. So I think it's really a necessity for us, and the virtual rounds are going to stay, are here to stay. I'm hoping that, after CAPACon here, CAPA and Napa, we're planning to go live. I'm hoping that, we've squashed this with the vaccine, this COVID problem. And I hope that, we've built up enough herd immunity that, hey, it's not a problem. Let's get back. Let's do it live. And oh boy, do I have plans for us. We have, we did a lot of hands-on workshops. Everybody loved our workshops. And I'm going to bring things back like that, keeping to some suturing workshops, ultrasound, joint injections. We even have more plans coming up in the future. So please keep a lookout for them, because they're coming down the pike. I'm going to try to start doing like weekend workshops throughout, if we can, throughout California. But like I said, we'll do with what we can, and just still trying to continue to be innovative with this and give people what they want. And like I said, if you ever see a topic that you're interested in, but never really heard anybody do, or, you think that we're missing out on something, please feel free to reach out to the CAPA office. Let us know, because I volunteer. I'm here for you, and I'm here for all the members and all the PAs in California. And this is what I want. I want good education that's putting us, we are the standard of care, and we are setting that standard of care. So we need to educate ourselves accordingly. So that's what I have in the pike. It's a lot coming, but I'm excited for the years to come.
Well, I appreciate all the innovation you put into this, because, sitting at home for the past year, working remotely, it's been hard to get CME. And then this virtual CME has been very, very helpful. It helps keeps you up in your education and your skills and your knowledge, which has been very, very good. But keeping up in skills and knowledge also brings up its own uh, nature as well. So I know a lot of times people will start getting their education and they're working their job and they run into an issue, a professional issue. And sometimes it's hard to uh, figure out just what goes on with professional issues. Like how do we adhere to SB 697? What are some of the things that we need to do? What happens when Medicare and Medi-Cal doesn't cover us? So I know that CAPA gets these questions a lot. Matter of fact, it's the second main reason why we get these calls. And so we do have a committee that takes care of that. And I know people probably don't know that, but we have a professional practice committee. And right now, Jeremy Meese is our current committee chair. So Jeremy, could you tell us a little bit about what is professional practice? Why is this something that we need?
Thanks, Ray. Yeah, it's exciting to be able to field those questions for CAPA members. These things come up all the time, right? It's everything from, like Roy said, reimbursement issues, scope of practice issues. So we're the volunteer committee that is the source for non-clinical professional practice information. We talk about credentialing, statutory, AKA legislative changes, regulatory compliance, CMS issues, and public policies, labor law, things like that. So we support practicing PAs. We do things like mostly answering member questions. They come in on a regular basis. It's writing articles for the CAPA magazine, researching new laws, various stages of the legal process. We attend the PA board meetings just to kind of, keep our ear to the ground and know what's, what they're up to on the regulatory side. Give lectures to PA programs about, CAPA's history, about professional practice issues, because that's the type of thing that we don't really learn in school. And, we learn the medicine, but when we get out into the real world, we see that there's odd things that can come up with, supervising physicians and collaboration and all that. So we love to help members out with anything professional practice related.
So I bet you must get all kinds of questions. Can you tell me the most common question that you get?
Most common is it's got to be like scope of practice stuff, like where I'm in radiology, what am I able to do? Can I do fluoroscopy, things like that. And besides that, it's formulary stuff, perhaps with prescribing.
Oh, I see. It gets me to think, because like you mentioned that sometimes we don't get this in PA school and sometimes we do. It just depends on the instructor and that type of thing. But
Sure.
there must be questions that you get that surprise you because you think we should have already had this in PA school. What can you share some of those questions that you might get?
Yeah, I mean, we got a question one time that was, am I allowed to scribe? As a graduate, as a licensed clinician, a member said, they're actually, I'm taking the role more of a scribe. Is that the real thing? And yeah, it's so frustrating more than anything else, just because, we're so much more than that, obviously. And someone actually had to ask that question. Like, I almost wanted to ask which clinic she worked for and give them a call.
Wow. As you all know, we recently passed SB 697, and it's been a game changer for the PA profession. You must be getting your share of calls on that as well.
Yeah, definitely. It did have a ground shaking change and really expanded our practice. I mean, the PAs that I've worked with, like my predecessor, Bob Miller's been, who was chair of this committee for 25 years, said that it was the most significant legislation that, that he had seen in his entire career. So we're talking like, he started when we couldn't prescribe medications, we couldn't supervise medical assistants. So just to hear that from someone like Bob was profound. So yeah, it's great.
Wow. So you keep busy then. I mean, I sure you get all kinds of questions that take your time to research. I would suspect that a lot of these questions are from people that are fairly new to the profession, like maybe somebody just recently graduated, or maybe a student getting ready to get a job. So CAPA has been really attuned to this new area about these newly certified PAs or somebody just getting into the workforce. So Catherine, my question to you is, what can CAPA do to help these new people?
My answer, Roy, I think the general answer would be, what can't CAPA do?
That's
I
nice.
it is. I think, it says huge things that there is even a committee catered to this type of population, a huge population that utilizes CAPA, that utilizes CME, that utilizes professional practice. And I think it says a lot about CAPA that they've dedicated an entire committee, multiple committees, to newer PAs, early career PAs, PA students transitioning into the PA profession. And not to go off on a tangent, but congratulations to all the new PA students that just graduated and are, I'm sure, in the process of taking their pants, and, wishing everybody good luck on everything as well. Not to go off on that tangent, but anyways, so the Early Career PA Committee is a committee that assists newer PA students that are transitioning into the PA practice. So we also tried to recruit members that are early in their careers as well, within generally 6 years of their PA career. And we streamline, questions that they may have, gaps that they may have, to resources that we can provide, such as, what do we do once we're practicing in terms of CME? That would be a question for Scott. What the certain questions, like certain questions about, supervising physicians that Jeremy was talking about, that would be streamlined to Jeremy's committee. So it's more of an advocacy committee that can create, more advocacy, that there are resources like these out there for new practicing physician assistants. And that's something I think just to be so proud of in itself that CAPA has created. It's an incredible time to be a physician assistant right now. Like Saloni was mentioning, it's truly, we are at a cusp of just so many different changes and transitions. And as a new PA navigating that whole field, I'm sure that can be very daunting, but to know that there is a support group out there of people that are in your position, that have been in your position, and they're constantly trying to gauge the needs of newer physician assistants, I think that that's something that's really valuable for CAPA.
Now you mentioned something really important, and this is a concept that you really have to sit down and digest and work out. But you said advocacy. How can these newer members to the PA profession, how can they show advocacy for the profession?
I think just by joining CAPA is one way of doing that, being involved, kind of knowing, being educated. One reason why I did join CAPA to begin with was to be educated. Knowing what SB 697 is in general. A lot of newer physician assistants, a lot of PA students don't exactly know all of the work that is being put in the background, and just to understand, where our profession is coming from, advocating for our profession, joining this organization that advocates for our profession is extremely important. So just by being a member, in terms of the early career PA committee, I think what we're planning on doing is encouraging newer PAs to write articles or curate content for CAPA's various publications and communication platforms such as Instagram or Facebook, which we're currently on right now, and anything relevant that's really relevant to the early career PAs, or spotlighting PA programs as well. So mostly just, shedding light to everything that we have to offer here.
So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. I'm going to ask you a question that I really don't know the answer to. I have a gut feeling, but do you feel that the early career PAs have become or gotten complacent about the profession?
That's a great question. A part of me wants to say no, because I think we have so many students here who are just so amped about everything going on in the PA field, who want to get involved and don't know how to get involved. And I think that's the idea about CAPA, and something that we're trying to revamp is just trying to reach out to those folks and say, hey, here, we have the resources, in order to advocate for our profession, in order to streamline a lot of the progress that we've already made. Another part of me, feels that maybe some just don't know and don't know what to do. Right. And as we're new practicing physician assistants, all we kind of really worry about is getting our rounds done in the morning and getting our notes finished by the end of the day. I think the last thing we can really think about is, anything extra than that. But I think there's a lot of people out there who are looking for something extra and looking to give back to our field and our profession. And this is a way that we can do that.
And actually, Roy, I want to chime in on that question as well. I mean, I have to say, just for me, the reason I got involved with CAPA was because I wanted to have a say in the direction of my profession. I mean, the more I became involved, the more I understood that CAPA is the line of defense for our profession in California. I mean, we were named the best overall job in US and world reports in 2021, right? And this has been ongoing for the last few years even. It's being recognized. But I think that's the problem, right? PAs are happy. PAs are getting paid well. PAs are getting complacent, I feel like. And I say that because, when I asked friends or colleagues, I say, hey, are you a CAPA member? It's like, oh, I forgot. Or, oh, it just, I forgot to renew. And there's no fire there. There's no like, oh, if I don't be a part of this, the CAPA, not the CAPA, the PA profession, isn't going to continue going forward. And that's not even a question in their minds right now, that they're just so happy with what they're doing. And, the PAs now more than ever need to need to be state and national members, and they need to make that a priority, because no one else is looking out for your profession. There's nobody else out there. You have CAPA in California and AAPA nationally. That's it. That's who's looking out for your profession and making sure that it continues for years to come. And so that's a reason why I volunteer for CAPA, because I want to see our profession continue to go on and not become obsolete.
Thank you. Those are all great points. I want to ask the whole group, do you guys feel that the PA profession is safe right now?
It's precarious. Sorry, you go ahead, Saloni.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Jeremy. Well, I think that the answer to that is definitely a yes and a no. We are definitely safe in the sense that we have achieved a level of performance and or expectation that our patients and our jobs and the United States of America have come to expect. So we are definitely doing that. However, the issue is that we are able to do that now because CAPA has had enough financial help and we have saved up enough money in order to allow our organization to keep going. However, the problem is that that is not going to be status quo forever. We have to make sure that our membership continues to be at a certain level. We need to make sure that our members continue to be involved at a certain level. And so that part of it does make me think that maybe no in the future. But for now, we're quite safe. However, I do want to caution members and more than members, non-members that, hey guys, we need you. We need you to come in. We need you to join. We need you to become a part of us, because the more there that we are, the harder it will be to take down if that ever becomes a situation in the future.
Thank you. Now, Jeremy, you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I think it's not common knowledge for PAs, practicing PAs, that we were a very kind of relationship with both between other, healthcare professionals as well as legally and legislatively. I mean, we are granted the ability to practice medicine based on law, and that could go away if the wrong things are in certain assembly bills or Senate bills as they go through. So we have to be very vigilant as CAPA, as a profession, to know what's happening at at the Capitol, and both federally and statewide. We obviously, our purview is state, and AAPA takes care of the Hill and the federal. But it's been shocking to me in my 5 or 6 years on CAPA, being more involved, just how precarious it can be, not just from things like SB 697, which gave us all this major overhaul and expansion of our practice. But now the process is it's going into actual regulations. So the law is one thing, but now it's transitioning via the PA board into the nitty gritty. And, so CAPA has to still be very vigilant and work with the PAB to say, well, we think that that's a bit of an overreach. We don't want to be too restrictive. That was the whole point of 697. So, we depend on membership. We depend on other PAs to volunteer for committees like mine, and the political action committee that really is the one that's working most with legislators. But it's not as straightforward as one would think, especially with and now, I almost hate to bring it up, but like nurse practitioners, they're had a great success with their bill last year, and they're moving towards the ability to practice more independently. It's not really true independence in a lot of ways if you look at the nitty gritty details, but that's going to be tricky for us. If a hospital system or a large payer sees that nurse practitioners are a better fit, then they're going to preferentially hire NPs or docs for that matter over PAs. And we can't let that happen as a profession. So CAPA is we are the line of defense, like Saloni said. We are the people we're the advocates for PAs within California. So just, want everyone to be very clear on that.
And Jeremy, on what you were saying as well, we have a committee now that is going to be just watching bills. We are looking at bills that are running through that the board takes a look at and figures out positions, because these are bills that could drastically change our profession if we're not vigilant about it, right? And so in order to do that, we need more resources, and resources are not cheap as well.
You guys are all talking about advocacy and securing our futures and working forward so that our profession still progresses. I've always looked at the PA profession. Yes, we've been here 50 some years, but it's not like the nurses or the physicians who have been here hundreds and thousands of years. So we're still in our infancy, and I think that's good for us to know. I listened to all of you guys talk, and you guys are all very intelligent about what we're talking about. But my big concern is I work with students a lot, and I don't know if students are able to get the message that we're putting out now. We're showing concern for the future. We're showing pride for the future. We're showing pride for our students graduating. But the question is, are they getting enough about these issues that we're talking about? So I'm going to turn that to Iris, because she's kind of the CAPA student representative. What do you think about that, Iris?
Yeah, so I agree with a lot of what has been said, and I think some of the reason for maybe the complacency, or the not as much of an urgency, is that the PA profession is such a young profession, and so many of us either newly graduated or coming into the profession don't really know or fully understand the struggle that we've had to go through. And I want to applaud my faculty at UOP, because I think they did a great job of signing us up for CAPA and AAPA, and we had a whole class dedicated to learning about the PA profession and SB 697 and PA history. And I think that's something that's so important. And I wish that there was even more of it, because sometimes you're learning about it and you're like, oh, I should be focusing on my anatomy or my clin med. But it's really important to also kind of consider where we've been and that there is so much further for us to go. And I think like remembering that the purpose of the PA profession is to serve patients and expand healthcare. And we can do that. We just have to advocate for our profession and for our patients. And I'm just really excited to be a part of like such a great team that's so excited to do all of that and is really passionate to do that. And I hope all my fellow students out there are excited to do that as well.
Fantastic. Now we're talking about the schools. Now, Bill, I'm going to ask you a question. You mentioned earlier that you work with the PA schools. Can you share what your committee is doing with the schools and the administrators? And as a follow-up, how do you think CAPA can work more closely with them, not just to provide student services, but to use the opportunity to educate them about their roles in protecting and advancing the profession?
Right. Thanks, Roy. I think I may come back to you to refresh my memory on that second part of the question. But,
No problem.
But what we're doing right now with the schools is over the next few weeks and months, we're going to be reaching out to all of the directors and kind of seeing where they're at with students and what they're doing to kind of push the word for us as an organization, as being their professional organization, to help be an advocate within the schools for the students, and having the us as an organization to be able to help them get a good leg up on the beginning parts of their career. That's where our partnership with the early career and with the student representatives really come into play with this organization. And then getting into how can we as an organization get more involved with the school itself without impeding on what the school's mission is, because the school's mission is to basically produce the PA that's knowledgeable and competent enough to practice. But we want to be able to get in there and be able to offer some of the great things that CAPA can do, as far as introduce people to and expose them to current and former leaders, have mentorship type programs, and not deter from what the overall mission of the school is. And then the first part of the school year is the main time for us to kind of go in and kind of let the program directors and everybody know, and the students know more about what the scholarships are, how they can apply, what kind of people we're looking at, what kind of students are we looking at to have to be awarded the scholarships. And one of the big things I think is, if you get a scholarship from CAPA, we kind of hope that we more than kind of hope, we really want you to be able to be a member of CAPA and volunteer and pay that forward, because the scholarships that we have are basically based off of things that we've done in the past, and people kind of paying it forward for us to be able to offer that to current students. I'm going to come back and ask can you be a little more precise with the question that you asked me? The second
half, really, I think you probably pretty much answered. Okay. I was looking for what are you planning to do in your position when you want to get support services for students, but not so much about educating them, but get more about their role in the protection and the advancement of the profession. So I think you kind of talked about that a little, but if you want to add, you certainly can.
Yeah, and then I think one of the things, and Iris hit this on the head, is making sure that, at least from our standpoint within the committee, that we have a focus somewhat on the history of what PAs, where we came from. We have a very our background is from military medicine. We were the first graduating classes from PA school were all prior military medics, and I think that's one of our hidden resources, is if we can actually get maybe some outreach into schools that have military medics and try to get them to go more towards the PA route. Any healthcare is good, but if we can get them into being a PA, I think I think that military background from where we came from to where we see the profession going, I think that military tie is going to be very, very important.
Thank you so much. You're absolutely right, Bill. Like you said, we were founded on the profession of the military. So we have to keep our roots in our mind. This past year has been a year of growth and thought, education for people in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusivity. Those three terms have become more and more common knowledge in all of our talks. We do have a committee on diversity, and I would really like to know what is our chair thought about this DEI, this diversity, inclusivity, and equity. What do you think about this, Saloni? What's CAPA going to do with this?
So I was the Committee on Diversity Chair until this point, and we have Aaron that's going to be taking it over. But having been from a minority myself, what I have learned during my time with CAPA is the fact that we are like spices, each and every one of us that comes from a different part of the world. And we just add so much more flavor to the profession. I think that many of us that come from diverse backgrounds, we bring our own home thought process, home practices of what mom does to take care of us when we were sick. And as archaic as that may sound, but it is such an amazing way to bring all of that information into the profession. I believe that listening to what Bill was saying earlier, and Iris as well, the one thing that I kept thinking about is the fact that CAPA is like a machine. We are churning leaders in and out. And what I want PA students or even pre-PA students to understand that CAPA is your group. CAPA is your organization. We want diversity. We want everybody from every part of the world who wants to join this wonderful profession to want to come and become not only a member, but please express your intent in leadership, because the more of you that show up, the more we can do. Maybe you might not be elected into a leadership position, but guess what? We have committees, we have committee members. And if you join, and if we all join forces, and if we all come together and bring our ideas together, we can propel our young profession into the future and be a force to be reckoned with. So I think our diversity, if we can use that to come together and create something bigger than us, I think we can actually appreciate so much more, and we can also achieve so much more. So I want all my brothers and sisters out there, no matter what your background is, come together, talk to us. We're here. Reach out to us. We're here to help, and we're here to talk, no matter what it is that you want to talk about.
Thank you. These are profound thoughts, because these are all ideas that are being put into all aspects of our profession, for the people that are just starting, for the people that have been out there for a while, even for the students. I think the students are getting a big dose of this as well. Iris, have you run into any of this in the student aspect for DEI?
I think one of the things we had within, my class over kind of the summer, we, talked a lot about how to kind of get involved and increase the diversity of the profession in general. It's been hard to do over Zoom and follow through with all of that. But I really do get the sense that, my classmates, fellow PA students from across the state are just so excited about increasing the diversity of the profession, and getting away from, I'm kind of the stereotypical, white female, PA student. And, we should have more, people of color and people with different sexual orientations and coming from different backgrounds, because I think it just makes us better providers. And yeah, so I think in general, as students, we're excited and really working for that.
Good. I so much agree. I know that that student environment really enriches the student education. And so the more diversity you put into that environment, the more diverse you're going to be, and the better prepared you're going to be for a workplace, no matter where you're at, whether it's California or Arizona or any place like that. Of course, we want to keep everybody in California, but we have to be prepared for that diversity in terms of everything. So I'm going to ask the group just some general questions now, and I just want anyone to feel free to talk about this. But I want to know, what are some of the rewarding times that you've had as a volunteer at CAPA? Any stories that you might want to say, or what is it that's just warms your heart?
Well, I'd like to take this question on. My I have so many fond memories of CAPA, and I'm trying to comb through my memory to see which one do I want to pick. And well, the one thing I can remember is during one of our CAPA conferences, we always would have a celebration after the Student Challenge Bowl. And I remember being with all of my fellow board members, and we were just standing around in a circle, just talking. And then I still remember a song came on that all of us apparently loved. And it was so interesting to see a group of professional, well-behaved, cultured people just say, you know what, let's just have a good time. And everyone just jumped on the dance floor and had a blast. And this is one of my fondest memories because I got to see my fellow leaders be themselves. And that, in my opinion, was one of the most rewarding experiences I've had. Thanks, you guys.
If you can't think of any heartwarming stories, how about frustrations? Because CAPA is a family, and when you have a family, you have positive times and you have frustrating times as well. Can anyone share any of their frustrating moments?
Well, I suppose I can kind of go on both sides of it. Actually coming into CME chair, I mean, I got into this organization because of Saloni and because of Roy. I showed interest, and it was something that I was able to make work with my schedule. And it's been rewarding to kind of be brought up. I mean, I started in the public education committee, just kind of seeing how things worked, ended up being a director at large for a couple of years, ended up being a secretary, and then, ending up taking on a big shoes of CME chair, which was a little daunting. And, to feel that responsibility for that amount of PA's education and having that say. But I have to say, it was just, having, fellow PAs, ones that I look up to that've been with the organization for years, and newer ones that are just giving their input. And for me, when we were in live conferences, to have people come up and tell me that they loved the idea of, I brought back the tracks. I remember when we were down in San Diego years ago, and we had the tracks, up and running, and people just were like, they were just telling me it was a great idea. And as many know, I have a passion for ultrasound too in the emergency department. And I brought ultrasound to our workshop, and we got a great response off of that. And I'm hoping to move forward with, for me personally, it's hearing the members telling me that I'm doing what they expect and what they want. And the frustrating thing too is, on the same side of that coin, to the opposite side of that coin, I get the people that are like, hey, why didn't you do this or that? And I'm like, well, because I didn't hear from you, and like I said, the CAPA has my email, they would give it out. Go ahead and send me messages of what you want to know, because like I said, at the end of the day, when I'm putting together schedules, I mean, we plan these conferences, it used to be 6 months ahead. We're shooting for, a year ahead, if not more, because we want to have everything set up and squared away so that people can plan their lives around these things. And I know people miss that. I mean, I think going back to, calls that we get at the office, I can't tell you how many times Teresa has told me, everybody's calling and asking, hey, when is the next live conference? Because it's such a great time for everybody to get together. And like Saloni says, one of her best memories is at a live conference. This is when we get together, get to know each other, have some laughs over drinks, and then really just talk about, life. And so that's coming back. But like I said, on both sides, going back to your question, I get it from all angles. But at the end of the day, I love what I do. And I love, volunteering and giving my time because this matters, and it does.
Thank you for that, Scott. For some of the newer board members and committee members, what is it that you're looking forward to accomplish in your time in CAPA?
Yeah, I think I can shoot this one off just because I am newer to the family. And I think emphasis on family. I think in general, I wanted to experience something as a newer professional of community, a sense of community where I felt like everyone was in the same boat as me. I'm out of PA school now. I don't have my classmates. I still do, but it's not in the sense that we're in a classroom all together. I have my coworkers, but I think CAPA gives a sense of community where you are connected to all these different types of people from all different areas of the world, different spices, bringing different things in. And so I think that's a huge advantage to being a part of CAPA, is just having a sense of community. Something that I would love to accomplish in being a member of, this group is just more work on advocacy. I think, a lot of people stress the infancy of our profession, and I still get questions from family members, and I think a lot of people in my position, our position, have as well, like, what is a physician assistant? Even going back to basics, kind of, advocating, prolonging our career so that we can, have less and less of those questions, really. I get that question all the time. That's probably one thing that's the most frustrating question for me, but I'm happy to answer because I want people to know about our profession. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that taking it to the next level, I think we have the obligation to actually advance our profession and to make sure, because I see the PA role as being beneficial for patients, for the healthcare system at large, for, quite frankly, society. I don't think that's an overstep. I think that we have a very unique role in healthcare. I think that we're kind of like the stem cell of medicine. We can do whatever we want, and we can adapt, and we can change, and we're the best kept secret, and that's kind of a problem. Like, we need more people to know about us and what we do. And even going to the, like, for Hill Day, like, or Capital Advocacy Day, these legislative staffers, and even a lot of the legislators, they don't know what we do, and we have this obligation, and this, we need to educate them. And it's all good news is the greatest part. Like, we are there as we bear nothing but good news. Here is who we are, here's what we can do. So let us do what we can do best. So that's what I'm here for, is just to continually advance our profession. And I'm seeing it happen, which is fantastic.
In a very small period of time. So yes, very much so.
Roy, for me, the big part of being a CAPA member and being part of being a committee chair and being involved is that continued service. All of us here are here on our own, basically on our own time. We're doing this because we love the profession, and we want to continue to give back. I recently retired from the Army, which was 32 and a half years of selfless service. And I want to continue to give more to us as a whole. And my particular niche right now is education and the PA education aspect of that. And I appreciate the time that you've taken and everybody else on this call to take me under your wing and teach me a little bit more about CAPA and which direction you would like me to help with as far as my leadership expertise, and continue to help blaze trails for California PAs.
Thank you for that. I have one last question that I want to just kind of get your quick overview on. As you know, at the House of Delegates recently, we passed. There was a. It's not a bill. I'm sorry. I'm losing the word. There was a.
Can I help you there, Roy?
Please.
So the American Academy of PAs House of Delegates voted on the title change, and they voted that the title physician assistant be changed to something else. Now, as many of you know, the medical care provider MCP was in the running, but that was not liked by too many people. And so we ended up voting, stating that we would change the title PA from physician assistant to physician associate.
So my question is, how do you guys like that? Is it something that we should, I see Iris give me 2 thumbs up, yes. So this is something we all would support?
Yes, I agree. I think, I think I support in the not having to change an entire title that we've been educating for years. You come in, you say the PA, and they say, what's that? And then we go into it. Well, now we don't have to change, saying the PA part of it, but now it can be, oh, we're the physician associate, and I think it speaks clearer to our role in the healthcare setting. And, we're all working together for the same cause, and that's, we got to take care of our patients.
Perfect. Anyone else want to add to that?
I just want to add one more thing. I think the title associate is so fitting because we associate with physicians. We are nurse practitioners, I feel like, are trained on the nurse model. We are trained on the physician model. And I think the term physician associate captures that a little bit better than physician assistant.
I'd agree with all of those points. And I think just to also shine light on all the work that CAPA has done as well to, again, advocate for that, get people educated, get people involved. That comes from a state level as well as a national level. So I think that speaks huge to CAPA. And then also, I think just to shine light on Scott's point as well, at the end of the day, I think, we're all here to take care of our patients and do good work. And that's what we are.
Katherine, thank you. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Sorry. Briefly, I think, I don't want to diminish the name physician assistant, because that has gotten us to where we are, quite honestly. And, like I said before, we stand on the shoulders of giants. I mean, the 50 years of this profession have, I owe so much of my career and my ability to help patients to all my predecessors. So I don't want to take anything away from that. But I do feel that associate is a much more accurate portrayal of what we do. And I think that, I'm kind of tired of explaining that, no, I won't take your blood pressure. So I'm excited to advance it to associate. I think that'll help.
Thank you. I think Jeremy and Katherine, you really summed up the essence of the PA profession. I really appreciate that. So now I just want to take time to thank all of you guys for your time tonight. You've been very open about CAPA, about what you're doing, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you for your service. I hope this session today helped provides PAs with some perspectives of the current and ongoing happenings at CAPA. If you have not already done so, please remember to renew your CAPA membership online at capanet.org, or you can go to the phone with the CAPA staff member, and you can get your membership there. Please remember to share this video with a colleague. Now, I know a lot of you may have questions. If you want to contact CAPA or any of the panel members about any questions you might have, please go ahead and talk to the CAPA office or email us through the CAPA office. But I want to thank you all very much for your time. Hope you have a great evening.